This video is going to illustrate the calculation for alternative minimum tax and alternative minimum taxable income, AMTI. On the screen here is Form 6251. We're going to go through a simple calculation. We'll start off with Part 1, Line 1. Basically, Line 1 is your regular taxable income taken from your 1040. Line 2 deals with your first adjustment, being your medical adjustment, and this was discussed in point number 5 of the blog, and I gave an example of a calculation there, and I'm going to use that example here. So we have an adjustment of $500 here for medical expenses taken from our Schedule A. Then we have line 3 that was discussed in point number 3 in the blog, and this is a $7,000 adjustment for taxes. And then line 4 here deals with our home mortgage interest, and that was discussed in point number 2 of the blog. We have $1,500 of mortgage interest adjustment, and this is mortgage interest that wasn't utilized to purchase or remodel our home or purchase a second home. So anyway, arriving at alternative minimum taxable income, we take our regular taxable income, and in this case we're going to be adding back our adjustments, coming up with our alternative minimum taxable income of $79,000. Part 2 of this form basically deals with our exemptions, and I'm using a 2009 form here because a 2010 form is not available just yet. So what we have here on line 30 is our exemption amounts, and our exemptions here for a married filing joint, that's the example that I'm using, is $70,950. If we subtract from our AMTI, we have a remainder of $9,950. We take that $9,950 and we multiply it by the instructions in line 32. It basically say if it's $175,000 or less, you're going to multiply it by 26%. Anything above that, you're going to multiply that line 32 by 28%. In this case, we are 26% on $9,950, and we arrive at the amount of $2,587. This particular individual has a tax of $5,500. And that is greater than line number 4, which is our tentative minimum tax, and this individual would not owe any alternative minimum tax. But let's take the situation here where with the alternative minimum tax for 2010 and what it may look like if the patch isn't passed for alternative minimum tax. Part 1 has not changed. We got $70,000 for taxable income from our 1040, and we have $9,000 of adjustments, giving us AMTI of $79,000. These are the exemptions right now holding for 2010 as we wait for Congress to pass a patch. For married filing joint, it is $45,000. And that's a $25,950 decrease from 2009. And what that will leave us here as a remainder now is $34,000, which, following the instructions for line 32, will be multiplied by 26%, giving us $8,840. This individual has a tax of $5,500 that was calculated on the 1040 and has not paid the minimum tax, so will then owe $3,340. So you can see how an individual with taxable income of $70,000 would end up paying this alternative minimum tax. Well, I hope you learned something, and thanks for listening.